Today's lesson is Let's Go Shopping. Hello there, I'm Mike.
I am Roger, and today we're going to continue to go shopping. Remember, last time we had Anna and Paul, and they were browsing for deals online because they were getting ready for Black Friday. Of course, that's the Friday after Thanksgiving in the United States. Thanksgiving is the fourth Thursday of November, and everybody gets Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday off. It's a 4-day holiday, and on Thursday, of course, they had their turkey, and on Friday, they're kind of bored, so they all go shopping for Christmas presents. That's what Black Friday is. And then we had a conversation between Anna and the clerk at a drugstore. She was making some purchases, and the clerk offered her the opportunity to join their line membership, and she agreed to do that. All she had to do was scan the QR code, and it would guide her through the process.
Exactly right. So she did that, and she probably took advantage of that $5 coupon that came with joining the store club right at that moment through the Line app. So today, we're going to be moving on. We're going to be joining Paul, who is Anna's friend. Paul is going to be looking for a specific item. All right, so he's also shopping there in a physical store, not online, and he's going to be looking for one special or specific thing. Let's hope that he finds it as we check out our dialogue. 3. Looking for a specific item. Paul is in a shoe store, looking for a specific product.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you find something today?
Yes, I'm looking for these sneakers. Do you have them in stock?
Unfortunately, those are a limited edition, and we sold our last pair a few days ago. Would you like me to check with our other branches for you?
Yes, that would be great. I'm a size 10, by the way.
You're in luck. There's one pair left at another branch. Would you like me to have them transferred here for you?
Yes, please. Thanks very much.
大家好，第一部分介绍动词 transfer， 意思是使转移或是调动。例如I transferred the file to the memory stick. 我把那个档案移到随身碟。或者 The prisoner was transferred from a local jail to a penitentiary. 那名罪犯从地方看守所被转押至监狱。又或是 I went to the bank to transfer the money to your account. 我到银行把那笔钱转到你的户头了。另外补充这个字也可以当名词使用，念作 transfer， 有转成或是转移、调动，也可以是转让的意思。举例来说 The transfer from the bus to the subway was quick and easy. 从巴士到地铁的转乘既快速又简单。或者 After the money transfer was complete, I went to an ATM to check my bank account. 汇款完成后，我去自动柜员机检查了我的银行账户。也可以是 The transfer of funds from our office to the US is heavily monitored. 从我们办事处转移到美国的资金受到严密的监控。
Okay, so in conversation 3, we are looking for a specific item. Paul is in a shoe store looking for a specific product. Now, I don't know about you, Mike, but when I go buy clothes or shoes, I don't like to buy these things online because I'm never sure about the size. Different companies have different standards for their sizes. So if I buy shoes, I want to buy them in an actual store, and that's what Paul is doing. He's looking for a specific product. I guess he's looking for a pair of sneakers.
Ah, absolutely. Yes, it is good to try things on, and you're right. Store sizes, small, medium, large, can vary depending on the store. So it is a good idea, especially with clothing that you're going to wear, to go and try it on. Plus, you can feel the quality of things and whatnot. So Paul, yeah, he's in the shoe store. He's looking for a specific product. We assume it's a specific type of shoe. The clerk there, the worker in the store, greets Paul by saying, "Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you find something today?" So this is the typical type of greeting that you might get from a clerk or a shop worker when you enter the store. As we mentioned yesterday, that word browse means to look around. So if Paul didn't really have something specific he was looking for, he could just say, "No, thank you, I'm just browsing." And then hopefully the clerk would back off and let him wander around a little bit and just look at what they have on sale. But Paul, being a very focused guy, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get what I want to get, and I'm going to go home. This is how men typically shop as opposed to women who might browse a little bit more. Paul has a specific goal, a specific thing, a specific product he is looking for, and he says, yes, I'm looking for these sneakers. Wow, he is prepared. So he shows her an image of the sneakers on his phone. These are shoes that he is going to buy, and we know that they're sort of casual sports shoes, running shoes, that type of thing, because they are sneakers that he is looking for. Sneakers, as I mentioned, is that type of athletic, comfortable running shoe, sports shoe that you might wear. Of course, you can wear them in the gym or when you go jogging, but a lot of people also just wear them when they're wearing casual clothes. These are not leather dress shoes you would wear with your suit. These are not anything fancy like that. They're probably going to be made of plastic, other things as opposed to leather, like slightly nicer shoes. But yeah, they're just comfortable running shoes that you might wear when you're dressed casually. And he has a specific style or brand or model that he wants. He has a picture of it and he asks, do you have them in stock? So do they have them there in the store available for him to try on, maybe eventually buy?
The clerk says, unfortunately, those are a limited edition, and we sold our last pair a few days ago. So they only had a limited amount of these shoes in stock, and they're sold out. They sold their last pair of these sneakers a few days ago. You say this when you're going to disappoint someone. Well, unfortunately, I've got some bad news for you. We don't have them in stock.
Oh, that is a disappointment. All right. So they did have them, but Paul was just a little bit too late. But there is a little bit of hope. There's a glimmer of hope here, a small chance that he will still get the sneakers he wants. The clerk offers to maybe find some. Would you like me to check with our other branches for you? So they're going to get on the phone or get on the computer and see if other branches, that is other store locations in different parts of the city, or maybe even further away in another city, possibly, if they still have them in stock there, if they still have a few pairs available, that might be great for Paul. He will be able to get the shoes. He, of course, won't be able to take them home today, but maybe in a day or two he will get them. So Paul is very encouraged by this. He really wants these sneakers. He says, yes, that would be great. If you could help me get my hands on a pair, even in a day or two, that would be great. And then he passes on some important and useful information for the clerk. He says, I'm a size 10, by the way. So, of course, if they're looking in other branches and they find them, but these sizes are not the one Paul is looking for, that won't really solve his problem. He's not going to be able to jam his foot into a size 8 pair of these shoes just to wear them. So he wants to make sure that not only do they have them, but they have them in the size that he is looking for. So fingers crossed, and the clerk will start tapping away on the computer and finding out if they can help Paul out.
Yep, that's what the clerk is doing. The clerk is checking the system, looking for information on the computer, and the clerk finds some information. You're in luck. It's your lucky day. There's one pair left at another branch. Would you like me to have them transferred here for you? So, of course, many shoe stores have different branches in different parts of a city or a country, and one store may have them, whereas another store will not. And so they're going to transfer them, or maybe mail them, or ship them over to the other location. I think this happened to me one time when I was trying to buy some hiking shoes in the Wannian building down in Ximending. They didn't have my size, but they said, hey, but our store in Taoyuan has a pair. Would you like them transferred here? Would you like them to send them shoes over? And yes, I got them sent over, and I wore them happily for maybe 2 or 3 years before I bought another pair. So that is convenient. Depending on where you buy the shoes, they may be able to transfer another pair from another store if that particular store does not have them in stock.
Yeah, they might also use the word we learned yesterday. They could have them shipped here for you or something like that. That would be very, very convenient. And yeah, Paul is definitely happy to hear this. He says, yes, please. Thanks very much. So yeah, in a day or two, hopefully, he'll be able to come back and pick up his shoes. He won't have to travel to that other branch and spend his own time doing it. They'll do it for him. He'll just have to be patient for another day, and then he will have his lovely new size 10 sneakers that I'm sure he will wear around with great joy, happiness, and hopefully comfort. Let's have a look at our fourth and final dialogue. Ooh, we're going to be bargaining for a better deal. So that sounds like some haggling is going to be going on. Let's check it out. 4. Bargaining for a better deal. Anna is checking out the offerings at a flea market when a plate catches her eye. Ah, I see that you've taken a liking to that plate. It's a beautiful vintage piece that's hand-painted, truly one of a kind.
Yes, it really is lovely. How much are you selling it for?
Since it's such a unique item, I'm asking $30 for it.
That's a bit more than I was hoping to spend today. Would you consider parting with it for $20?
I appreciate that you're on a budget, but $20 is quite low for such a special piece. How about we meet in the middle at $25? That's a very fair price for something so nice.
I take your point, but I still feel that $25 is a bit high. How about $22? It's close to the middle and it's within my budget.
You drive a hard bargain. All right, $22 it is then. I'm sure you'll enjoy this plate. It's truly special.
第二部分看到动词 bargain 表示讨价还价或是议价，例如 Randy enjoys bargaining with the sellers at night markets. Randy 喜欢在夜市跟卖家讲价，或是 You can save a lot of money by learning to bargain. 你学会议价后可以省很多钱。另外补充这个字也可以当名词使用，意思是划算的商品。我们可以说 Juanita found some great bargains when she went shopping with her friends on Saturday. Juanita 星期六与朋友去购物时发现了一些便宜划算的商品。或者 Oliver wants to buy a used car and he hopes to find a bargain. Oliver 想买一辆二手车，他希望能找到划算的交易。下一个看到名词 flea market 表示跳蚤市场，例如 We found many unique items at the flea market last weekend. 我们上周末在跳蚤市场找到了很多独特的物品。也可以说 The flea market is a great place to discover handmade crafts. 跳蚤市场是发现手工艺品的好地方。最后看到 vintage 这个单字，它是形容词，表示复古的、古色古香的，或是最典型的。我们可以说 Deanna likes to collect vintage dolls. Deanna 喜欢收集古董娃娃。也可以说 You can see vintage cars at the Automotive Museum. 在这个汽车博物馆里，你可以看到经典车款。另外补充同义形容词 antique, A-N-T-I-Q-U-E, antique, 意思是古物的或是古董的。可以说 My family bought all of our furniture at the antique shop downtown. 我的家人在市中心的古董店买了我们所有的家具。最后一个例子 The writer furnished his study with an antique desk. 那位作家用一张古董桌子来装饰他的书房。
Okay, so in conversation 4, we have Anna, and she has gone to a flea market. She wants to buy something, so she's going to be bargaining for a better deal. Sometimes people sell things, and the price might be flexible. It kind of depends on what you're buying. If you go to a 7-Eleven, for example, and you want to buy a bottle of water, and it costs 20 NT dollars, you might say, well, I'd like to bargain. Could you sell it to me for 15 NT dollars? No, they don't do that in convenience stores. But in places like flea markets, they will probably do that. And of course, flea markets are quite common. They're places where people sell old items. I went to a flea market recently in Nangang at the Nangang train station outside there. My goodness, it was quite big, and there were lots of things available there. And if I did want to buy something, I may have bargained for a better price.
Very cool. Yeah, so you'll find secondhand items. You might find handmade items too by local artisans or something like that. There are no fleas on sale, so don't be put off by the word fleas. You won't end up coming home with new items and itchy skin because you've been infested with fleas. No, these are usually outdoor, temporary markets that might pop up there on the weekend or something like that. And yeah, you can go down and maybe find some old treasures if you're into secondhand goods and antiques, or maybe something new and handmade and very original. It's kind of a cool place if you want to get away from the stores and the normal products that you find there. So she's checking these things out. You're investigating things. You're looking at things. You're seeing what's available. When we say checking out, we just mean I want to know more about something. I want to see some interesting things. I want to go to this place and look around, basically. So she's at the flea market and a plate catches her eye. So she's looking at a plate, a type of dishware, right? The flat dishware that you put your food on when you're eating something. And so maybe this is old or something like that. Maybe it's got a beautiful design. Let's see. So the seller notices Anna noticing the plate. So the seller is very on the ball. They're really doing their job well. They're paying attention to what the customers are paying attention to. And when they see someone kind of show some interest, they will jump on that. So the seller says, I see that you've taken a liking to that plate. So Anna's been looking at it admiringly. Maybe she picked it up. She's flipped it over to see if there's writing on the back that tells her how old it is or where it comes from. She's definitely showing an interest. She's taken a liking to something. If you've taken a liking to something, you've started to like it. Maybe it's the first time you've seen it. Maybe it's causing this initial attraction, this initial interest, but it definitely shows. The seller says, it's a beautiful vintage piece that's hand-painted, truly one of a kind. Wow. So it's a vintage piece. That tells us that it's old. It's an antique. It's probably more than 40 or 50 years old or something like that. I think if it's an antique, it might be more than 100 years old. Something vintage, we might also say it's retro. It might be more than 30 or 40 years old or something like that. But it's definitely not new. It's definitely been around a while, and it might have a certain special style or design to it that you just don't see very much with modern factory-made things. So it's a nice old piece, a nice vintage piece that's hand-painted, so it's very original. And yes, if something is original, we could also say it's one of a kind. It's unique. Maybe there are other ones like it. We're not saying it is literally one out of the whole world, but it's very, very unique. It's very unusual. It's very special.
So yes, it is a unique plate. And of course, if it's so unique, then it's going to have, well, probably a pretty expensive price. And Anna says, yes, it really is lovely. I have taken a liking to this plate. I think it's pretty cool. I am interested in this plate. And of course, now we have to talk about the price. How much are you selling it for? How much does it cost?
And this is where we get into bargaining or haggling, as we also might call it. That is when the seller suggests a price and then you suggest a lower price and you kind of go back and forth until you meet in the middle on that happy price that everyone can agree on. So let the haggling begin. The seller says, since it's such a unique item, you can't find other ones like it around. This is probably meaning the price will be a little higher when someone begins that way. Since it's such a unique item, I'm asking $30 for it. Okay, well, $30. This, I assume, is US dollars because I don't think something at $30 NT could really be described as unique and special. But 30 US dollars, around 1,000 NT for a plate. Okay, yeah, that's definitely more than you would pay at big store where they have factory-made plates by the thousands. So $30 for one plate. But of course, it is also kind of like a piece of art you're getting as well as a practical plate that you can use for eating. What does Anna think of this first offer, this first price of $30 from the seller?
Well, as you sort of implied there, $30 or 1,000 NT dollars does sound kind of expensive. And Anna says, that's a bit more than I was hoping to spend today. That's a little over my budget. Would you consider parting with it for $20? If you part with something, of course, you just let something go. But basically, she means, would you consider selling it for $20? So again, here, Anna is doing some haggling. She's doing some bargaining for a better price.
There you go. So she's gone down by a third. So she's gone down to about 600 NT dollars from the initial offer of 1,000 NT dollars. Now the seller thinks about that and says, I appreciate that you're on a budget, but $20 is quite low for such a special piece. Okay, so the seller is trying to be understanding, saying, I appreciate, I understand. It means something to me when you appreciate something in this way. It means you not only seeing it there, but you are understanding it on a slightly deeper level, maybe on a more personal level or something like that. So I understand and I accept, I respect that you're on a budget. That means basically you're trying to save money. You're not a rich person with money spilling out of your pockets and an unlimited bank account or something. You're a normal person who can't spend too much on items like this in your daily life. I understand that. I accept that. But, here's the but but $20 is quite low for such a special piece. $20, I don't know. That's a little low is basically what the seller is saying here. And then they come back with the counter offer, the third offer. As I said, we're moving to the middle a little bit. How about we meet in the middle at $25? That would be a pretty common move. You suggest 30, I suggest 20, and then we go in the middle. Difference between 20 and 30 being 10. 5 would be in the middle, 25. So how about we meet in the middle at $25? That's a very fair price for something so nice.
Well, here Anna says, I take your point. I understand your reasoning, but I still feel that $25 is a bit high. It's a bit pricey. It's too expensive. And she makes another offer. How about $22? It's close to the middle and it's within my budget. What does the seller say about that offer?
You drive a hard bargain, the seller says. You're a tough negotiator. You haggle like a professional when you drive a hard bargain. It's not usually said in a sense of sort of anger or resentment. It's basically appreciating your skills as a negotiator. You really know how to get the biggest value for your money. You drive a hard bargain. You're a very skilled negotiator. All right, $22 it is then. I mean, the seller could say $22.50 would be exactly the middle between 25 and 20, but no, $22 is okay. People don't usually argue over cents or smaller amounts of money like that, so that's fine. That's the agreed price. I'm sure you'll enjoy this plate. It's truly special, and I'm assuming the seller will take the plate, wrap it up, and Anna will hand over the money, and she'll be off home with her new wonderful vintage plate.
And I wonder if she's going to actually eat off that plate or just simply set it on the shelf for display. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。在课文第一部分的对话里， Paul 他在找一款运动鞋，那鞋店的店员说前几天他们卖掉了最后一双，在帮他查库存的时候发现另一家分店还剩一双，店员就问说 Would you like me to have them transferred here for you? 你要我帮你调货过来吗？好，那这边要介绍的是 have 当实义动词，是用来表示命令或要求。我们在用 have 加受词加受词补语的句型时，这个受词补语可以用原形动词，用现在分词 VING， 或者是用过去分词 PP。不过呢，它们所代表的意义不同。我们来看看，第一个用 have 加上受词加上原形动词，这是用来表示命令或要求，那常常用在一次执行完成的动作，或者是这个动作在一定时间内完成。例如 She had her son mop the floor， 她教她儿子拖地。第二个句型 have 加受词加过去分词 PP， 这就像课文的用法。那这时候这个受词常常是事物，用来表达请人做某事，让人做某事。例如 I had my laptop repaired yesterday， 我昨天请人帮我修理笔记型电脑。第三个句型 have 加受词加上现在分词 VING， 这是用来强调动作持续进行或者是自然发生。例如 He had the fan running all night long， 他让电风扇整晚都运转着。好，另外句子里面用到 transfer 这个动词，我们来学习它的字首字根。看到 FER 这个字根，它有携带、运送、承受或承担的意思。那么在 transfer 这个字当中，前面的 trans 它是表达横越， FER 表示运送。那横越运送应该可以联想到 transfer 它有转移的意思，它还可以表达转让啊、转乘啊、转机、转账等等的意思。我们也来补充几个有相同字根的单字。第一个补充的是 infer， 它的字首 IN 表示在点点点之中，那么 FER 表示携带。我们在面对某个情况时，把自己的想法带进那个情况里，去推论、去猜想事情的来龙去脉，这样也许可以联想到 infer 它有推论、推断、猜想的意思。第二个补充的是 confer， 它的字首 CON 表示一起， FER 表示承担，碰到问题就要一起承担，那这时候大家会一起商讨解决办法，因此 confer 它就有协商、商谈的意思。我们在后面加上名词字尾 ENCE， 就会得到名词 conference， 那就可以表达会议、研讨会。好，那么第三个补充的是 suffer 这个字，它的字首 SUF 是来自 SUB， 表示在下方。FER 有承担承受的意思，那在下方承担，可以想象出那种忍受负荷的那种画面，用这个方式也许可以联想到 suffer， 它有受苦受折磨的意思。好，那么以上今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天单字吧。
Sneaker. Ross bought a new pair of sneakers for the gym. Unfortunately, the concert was canceled due to the rain. Transfer. They transferred the artwork to the gallery for the exhibition. Bargain. The tourists managed to bargain the price down to half. Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Roger. See you next time.